Good afternoon and welcome to the vlog. Or does that sound too much like CC? Anyway, cheers. 31st of May 2020, 18:43 hours. Right. Where do I start? Right. As of Friday, after Duncan called me fairly late in the day, about 2ish I think it was, we've agreed, in fact it might have been even later than that, he called me back about 4 I think. We agreed to have the rubbish taken at 9 o'clock on Monday. So I've chucked literally all my rubbish out. Not just the stuff out the kitchen, but all the stuff I was storing up in the bedroom as well. Because it was only sort of like, I didn't need to store that in the bathroom, it wasn't smelling. But there was an awful lot, many bags. I've just chucked it all out. And after having not had it in your flat for a bit, it does smell. The flat is breezier and smells better. But literally all the rubbish is gone. So I've got room to move around now. Boxes and all that is gone. I was leaving the boxes for the cats to play with. But yesterday I got the cats a new tree because their one was just shabby. And Caspi loves it. Well, Caspi so far loves it. It's about 5 foot tall. And he loves the top one, you know? So it's just encouraging the others to use it, but that shouldn't take too long. It's got a nice couple of boxes that they can all sleep in, all nice and secure, so play, rope, swingy plastic ball. They haven't started on the rope or the ball yet, but at the moment it's all a bit of a novelty. Now next week, I'm expecting some communication from the council finally. Duncan advised me on Friday that they've been talking about me in a big meeting or something the day before on Thursday. They're going to write to me about all they've spoken about. It just seems a bit weird they would have a meeting without the main person they're talking about. It's like, well, we've decided what we're going to do and this is what you are going to accept. And it's like, that's not the way to do a bilateral discussion, unilaterally. I know what the council's supposed to be doing, and I think really the council knows what they're supposed to be doing. I just got an assurance from Duncan that my neighbours have been spoken about, but no reassurance more than that. And I was supposed to have a meeting, a remote meeting with 3 or 4 people, senior people, and that didn't take place either. It's just the way that Duncan said it on Friday. He was going to send me a confirmation text as well, which I never received, but I've got a recording, which Duncan knows I record the conversations because it's on the bottom of all my emails, and it has been for a few months now. So they are aware I'll record my phone calls. Still breaking lockdown in this block. And I noticed a couple of Asian families there was like 8 or 9 of them. And they're not supposed to be meeting up until tomorrow at the earliest. And there was at least a couple of families walking along here about an hour ago. Nothing happened. I've got people in the block breaking lockdown, i.e. knocking on people's doors and not keeping social distance and blah blah blah. So next weekend I'm thinking of letting Lita to come over, and then maybe I can get out the block for a bit. We can go somewhere. But I don't know. It's all a bit iffy at the moment. At least I've got floor space because I ain't got the boxes on the floor anymore because I've given the cat tree. So I've taken all the boxes up they were playing with. Caspy seems to love the tree. He's forgotten all about me taking the boxes away, the ones he used to sleep in. And he sleeps in the tree now, which is good. It also puts him closer to the flies, which is bad. So the place is a bit cleaner. I've changed, clean clothing, finally. I've had a shower, I've cleaned the shower because the bath was where I was storing the rubbish. I've bleached it and washed it, that's all clean. I had a shower yesterday, I feel a lot better for that. But I'm now just a bit anxious about what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm a bit concerned that the council are going to treat me like I've got mental health problems, which I have. But they're not going to treat me like I'm a normal person with mental health problems. They're going to treat me like a mental health person with mental health problems. And that's not good. I mean, at the end of the day, I still need explanations from people. I won't repeat myself on this video because, well, I've mentioned it a few times now. But now I've got the bathroom open, I can finally get a breeze through. The place is cooler, even though it's actually, get this, it's cooler, even though it's actually warmer and less humid. Strange, but it feels better. I've put the fan on to move the air around, and it feels a lot better today than it did before I had rubbish in the bathroom. My next adventure is to get some sort of computer cupboard to go in that corner there, and to replace this big glass coffee table with two smaller tables, one either end of the sofa, so there's more room in the middle, and if you need you can put tables together. So I'm currently looking for both, and then it'll open up the living room, and with the two side tables it will actually open up the corner in the corner over there for the desk, so I can put my laptop and monitor and all that on it, and maybe one day get a printer, somewhere to store it. Tabs. No, don't jog the that's Tabs rubbing his head on the tripod. Caspy will probably do it again in a moment, but there we are. What else is happening? Not a lot. Thankfully, it's been a fairly quiet weekend. I'm expecting another week we should start seeing the death toll go up again, because of all the crowding we had on the underground and the buses and all this sort of stuff before they've introduced these new measures. People are up in arms about £16 million for the councils for covering the school children for fares and that. Why? In London, they paying for more than 2.5 miles or 3 miles or whatever it is for children to get to school was rural areas where they are literally 3 miles away from the school. There's not many people in London that live more than 3 miles away from a school. I mean, I'd be surprised if most kids lived more than a mile away. Let the children walk. There's an obesity problem anyway. And after the current lockdown, I can hear the parents crying now, I can't let my little child walk a mile. He will die. I think if you look at the long-term situation, if you don't let them walk a mile, they will more likely die younger. Exercise is good, especially for the young. Let them walk. And then you've got overprotective parents going, oh, you can't let them walk in this day and age. Yes, you can. If you keep children off the streets because you're afraid that they're going to get attacked, then there'll be more attacks because there's less children on the streets. It's like the ones that have to walk Like the ones that are nearest to the school that will walk are the ones more likely to get attacked. And yet, if there was more children on the streets walking to school, they would normally be walking to school in groups, so they're safer. And there'd be more groups on the street, which would make them safer. And at the end of the day, it's only for half an hour, either end of the day. And I'm sure the police forces would be on, higher alert during those times of the day to make sure the kids are safe. So I would encourage all parents to let their kids walk to school. And to encourage it, I would actually come down hard on anyone driving to school. There'd be a no parking zone around the school for one block. And I would come down hard on them, fine the parents. I'd have a special infringement for school areas and make the fine a lot more. It's just not parking, it's putting children's lives at risk. You're blocking the road. A lot of parents would just park where they are. I've seen them parking 2, 3, 4 cars deep in some areas. And no one does anything. They're obstructing the road, they're blocking the road, they're worried about their children getting to school safely. There's 2 things you can do. Let them walk and walk with them. Haven't got the time, so you drive the car. No, you make the time, they're your children. Or we bring a school bus system in, just for those times during the day. And that would work in London. I know we've got a lot of buses in London already, but I think specialist buses for schools would be better. One, it would be better for the bus drivers, because those times of the day are the most stressful for the bus drivers because of all the lack of respect, I would say. Noise, shouting, pushing, shoving, arguments, that sort of stuff. The stuff that parents should teach their children not to do. But they're not everyone. So school buses with specially trained drivers, and where hopefully there would be a teacher on board to keep the kids under control. That would be the best way of doing it if you have to travel more than about a couple of miles. I mean, anything up to a couple of miles, walking pace, would only take half an hour at a slow walking pace of 4 miles an hour. Kids can easily do it. What else? So far, so good. I think I'll have a quite short blog. So, unless something really major happens, I shall report back tomorrow to let you know what happens. Because I'm expecting some sort of contact with the council tomorrow. At least they should be down here at 9 o'clock in the morning to pick the rubbish up outside. And yes, I've put it in the fire gate, but that was under instructions from the council, even though they're technically not allowed to give instructions to block the fire gate. But I've put it around the corner, it's not blocking it. It is a fire hazard, but I've got nowhere else to store it. So it was either making my place unfit to live or making the stairwell dangerous. And my fire door's fine. I'm going to be safe. And if the others go up, that's their problem, because they shouldn't have broken their fire doors. So all this stuff is concurrently going through my head all the time. And this is what the council doesn't get. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. And I'll speak to you tomorrow.